Employee Engagement, It's Harder to Hang On to Employees by Melinda Chavez, November 18th, 2016. If you think that I've made this presentation sound like it's mostly bad news based on the title, It's Getting Harder to Hang On to Employees, it's not. What it does is it paints a picture of how workers in a dispatch unit felt about their jobs and how a workplace survey revealed the lack of employee engagement, gave human resources insight to employee retention, revealed employees' fear of economic times and uncertainty, revealed a violation of the code of conduct and ethics, and it also revealed a huge liability involving the Fair Labor Standards Act that the organization had no knowledge of. So here is the true story. The story begins with the hiring of a new manager who, by the way, likes saying she has a type A personality. Now, I never gave any mind to personality types, but I have to say, in hindsight, she was true to form of the type A personality. According to Simply Psychology, type A personality is someone who tends to be very competitive and critical. A type A individual tends to be easily aroused to anger and hostility. These type of people tend to see the worst in others, displaying anger, envy, and a lack of compassion. So the story goes. Within the first 60 days of the manager being hired, Human Resources began to receive write-ups on employees who had been with the department since its inception in 2006. The write-ups were mainly for employees calling in sick in conjunction with their days off or using too much sick leave, and the call-ins got worse as the 6-month time period came around. Then within a week's time, the dispatch unit lost 3 employees. The manager complained that even though there is a seniority showing the next person to cover a shift, resulting in overtime for the employee, she was having a hard time getting the next person on the list to cover the call-in, and she was now issuing directives to her staff, telling them that they will do what they will do, and if they refused, she had news for them: the pink slip, meaning she would start the paperwork to terminate. Needless to say, the misuse of authority and her do-as-I-say attitude created a hostile work environment, resulting in long-term employees leaving their jobs. Ongoing write-ups for employee suspensions continued. Sick leave absences got out of control. Human Resources wanted to know what was going on over in the dispatch unit, so we decided to conduct a workplace survey and interview employees to determine what was causing all the turmoil. The workplace survey. The survey uncovered each employee's personal experiences with dispatch management, and the interview provided a unique perspective on the participants' lived experiences. Through the workplace survey and interviews conducted 1-on-2, meaning the subordinate operations manager and one human resource member, the information received provided the opportunity to hear firsthand and understand the employee experience as it pertains to employee retention, productivity, work happiness, employee recognition, leadership management, and the Fair Labor Standards Act liability issue. The dispatch unit provides 24/7 coverage for 9/11 emergency. The manager was running the unit like a Gestapo. Because 3 people had left employment, the manager indicated that no leave time would be approved until the positions were filled. Employees became upset because the supervisor and manager in the unit were able to take time off when they wanted. Both the supervisor and manager are classified as working supervisors and managers, which means they should be working as team members with their staff. But instead of being a team member, they both made comments indicating they would not provide any overtime, relief because they had already done their time, and employees were experiencing job burnout because the small crew was having to cover 3 additional 40-hour per week shifts. The Fair Labor Standards Act liability was discovered while interviewing employees, where the manager gave employees a directive to be at work 15 minutes before their shift began for briefing. This had been going on for 10 months, and the liability was that the employees were not being paid for the extra 15 minutes that they were required to be at work. As they all indicated, they were told employees don't get paid for briefings. From the story that I just told, the true story, we can see that leaders who engage employees affect the day-to-day operations. Employee motivation is affected by leaders' attitude, and attitude affects your meeting employee expectations. Leaders who meet employee expectations positively affect employee motivation, which increases employee engagement and job effort. These expectations trigger either personal satisfaction or dissatisfaction and influence the emotional connection between employee satisfaction and organizational goals. Employee engagement is the connection between the emotional well-being of the employee and organizational commitment. Employees who are positively engaged in their jobs are more likely to excel in their work. These satisfied employees perform and work well with the public, which can improve client satisfaction and loyalty. Employee engagement and psychological ownership. Psychological ownership is the ability of a person to take an ownership view of work-related tasks. Increasing employee engagement and psychological ownership creates opportunities for organizations to improve their competitive advantage and improve client satisfaction, as well as increase consumer loyalty. Employee engagement plays a role in supporting the continuum of care as consumers. As consumers may emotionally connect with dispatch providers during life and death situations. A successful dispatch organization provides a wide range of services that meet the needs of the community. Low employee engagement may negatively affect the sustainability of the dispatch unit, which may decrease service offerings, meaning the public may no longer want to use their emergency services, or they could have limit access and lower the quality of services. Decreases in the quality of services may have a negative influence on outcomes, which would impact society as a whole. Low engagement can be caused by several factors, including lack of recognition by managers, poor company communication, and not being aligned with the mission of the company. It's clear that company leaders need to start viewing employee engagement as a strategic business objective because engaged employees lead to long-term employee retention, higher levels of productivity, and improved quality of work. Why is employee engagement important to a company's success? HR leaders are focused on improving employee engagement in their organization, and retention is one of the key reasons. Organizations with high engagement reduce turnover and hiring costs. Engaging employees is critical for retaining valuable talent and is an important piece of the employee satisfaction, as disengaged employees are more likely to leave their jobs. According to Forbes, employees who are engaged in their work are more likely to be motivated and remain committed to their employer. This leads to achieving more business goals and helping to drive the organization forward. Productivity and improved work quality. Employees who are engaged at work are more likely to be productive on a consistent basis. Companies with a high level of management engagement are seeing productivity according to the Gallup data. Employers are quickly seeing this trend and investing more in employee engagement. Improved work quality. When employees are engaged, they are more likely to invest in the work they do, which leads to a higher quality of work produced. Engaged organizations have double the rate of success compared to less engaged organizations, according to the Harvard Business Review. Employees who are engaged are more involved and work harder, while disengaged employees are likely to do the bare minimum to get by. Harvard Business Review also found that organizations which scored higher in employee engagement reported fewer safety incidents. Employees who are truly engaged will be motivated to do their best work every day and stay with a company who is taking employee engagement seriously. By investing in employee engagement, your company will be able to increase productivity, work quality, and retain top talent. Is your human resources department spending enough time nurturing employees? How well do you know the employee who comes to work every day, and how will you effectively engage them in the next year? After the dispatch incident, as a human resource professional, it is extremely important to engage employees at least semi-annually with a workforce survey so that you are aware of anything that may need attention in the employee engaging area and for department liabilities and to ensure general employee job satisfaction. Employees want to enjoy their work, find meaning in it, be recognized when they do well, and want to feel a sense of achievement. As a leader, what can you do? Acknowledge contributions and effort. Go beyond the old cookie cutter recognition and create unique recognition tailored to an employee's passions. Let your managers know why recognition is important and the value it plays in reinforcing key behaviors. Recognize service when you see it. You shouldn't wait for the traditional one-year anniversary review. Celebrate milestones often. Enhance your culture. Work should be somewhere employees want to be, not have to be. Don't be afraid to give your employees opportunities to thrive. Ask more from supervisors. Supervisors should be flexible and be team members. In the dispatch story, asking more from a supervisor and doing more as a working manager, roll up your sleeves and show you are flexible and can be a team member when it comes to taking care of your employees by giving them requested time off, even if it means you have to work some overtime. This type of action shows management cares. Ask and don't tell. Instead of doling out an assignment and dictating the process to team members, challenge them to find improvements and recognize them at every step in the process. Delegate a project that would not otherwise get done. Offer team members the opportunity to run with an idea that you haven't had the chance to explore. Give them basic parameters to follow, then make them fearless by removing any consequences for failing. Let them lead, turn over an existing project, and let your team member manage everything, from strategy development through project management to leadership presentations. Hold the team accountable to the budget and timelines while letting them know you're there for support. Lead with compassion. Engagement from employees who work for a compassionate leader, one who is authentic, has a sense of dignity, holds others accountable, leads with integrity, and shows empathy. What can you do? Translate strategic goals into individual goals. This requires authentically listening to others and working to leverage employee strengths, as well as having a willingness to be flexible and adaptable. Develop others. Focus outward in a way that develops the skills, competencies, and abilities of others. Today's workers cannot be managed with old-style management. They expect operational autonomy and job satisfaction. Any initiatives of improvement which are taken by management cannot be fruitful without willful involvement and engagement of employees. Efficiency and productivity lie within the employee's ability and commitment. Give and receive helpful feedback. Listen and communicate well, and you will create credibility, trust, and influence. In conclusion, any initiatives of improvement which are taken by management cannot be fruitful without willful involvement and engagement of employees. Efficiency and productivity lie within the employee's ability and commitment. So make work meaningful. Employees are looking for more than just a job and are seeking work that is personally meaningful. Provide employees with opportunities to learn, contribute, and grow.